Good morning, everybody. It's the 28th of December 2020, and this is Aine Divine here, and that noise is Maisie, who's hopefully going to be quiet. And there's midnight on the windowsill there, wanting to get out as well, I'd say. I want to show you actually, because you can kind of see the tree as well then. There's midnight, and there's the tree. There's a suitcase of clothes that have to be sorted. There you are. This is my usual thing now. I take a while to set you up and then I decide to show you the living room. Alright, there you are. I think that'll be okay. You're very welcome. It feels like the first video now in a while, and I'm looking forward to just having a bit of a play, and the plan is to put no pressure on myself. So I really don't know what'll happen here. But I got these tulips yesterday in Sainsbury's, and I had set myself up a little bit in order to, rather than deciding yesterday that I was going to do a painting, I just ended up getting prepared for a painting today. So one step at a time, you know, small things. So Maisie's at the door now, you know, she's been getting a bone from the neighbour, and so whenever the neighbour comes out for a cigarette now, Maisie's at the door hoping for a bone. So I'm just going to ignore that. Yes, I am. She's walking away. Okay, so here goes. I've got a lot of stuff out now. Like I found just this minute, actually, I found this collage paper. Well, it's tissue paper, but I just thought that might work for the lovely vase, jug. That's what it is. Now Maisie's being very helpful, and she's tearing some more collage paper for me. She's very kind. So I'm going to take that off her because it's too noisy. Can you just play with your toys, Maisie? Is there any chance you could do that? Stop it. Go away. Okay. Yes, so this is PVA glue here. And I'm going to put on some of this tissue paper that's got flowers printed on it as a way of representing those flowers that are on the jug there. That'll do. Okay, that'll do. What was I thinking of next then? There's the bits that Maisie was tearing up might also work as collage pieces. That's quite a nice bit there. And seeing as I've overdone it on the glue, I might as well use all the glue and just put on some more paper. Yeah, I think that's okay. Do you know what I don't have now, and it would be handy? It's kitchen paper. I seem to always forget to put the kitchen paper out. And you know, I'm just going to use a tea towel because I've run out of kitchen paper. And these tea towels are really old, so I'm just going to use them. Right, so I'm just going to try and flatten down the paper there. Just putting some water onto the PVA glue and smoothing in the edges. What was that? Okay, there we are. Now, green. So I found this bright green paint. It's maybe a bit too bright. So I'm going to use the sap green, if I can find it, which is up here somewhere. So sap green, it's hooker's green, and it's going to do the job just fine. That there's hooker's green. I'm going to go with a slightly smaller brush. I had to close the curtains on the other window because the sun was streaming in, beautiful sunshine. But of course it was causing a bright lower half and a dark upper half to this. So the iPad is quite good to cancel out the it's good to balance the light. So when it felt like it would be too dark to paint in here with one of the curtains closed, but it hasn't been. It looks bright enough there, and I think I can edit it as well after. And I've got enough light on my board myself. So I'm using so yes, I put some gesso on this paper last night, so it's allowing me to lift off a little bit, and I'm just using the wet brush to eat back into some of the paint I've just put on to explain the all the stuff that I'm talking about there. Really, the main thing is just that I'm just letting myself make a bit of a mess, play around. It's not really making a mess, to be honest. No, it's not that only. Although it begins with something of the freedom of that. Like, I think there needs to be some sort of really abandon, like freedom and willingness to bring something energetic into it, like. And then of course it's not messing, it's actually kind of dynamic, I suppose, and in a way it's pointed, like there is a kind of quality of oh, Maisie, for fuck's sake, she's got herself wrapped up in the microphone there and unplugged it. Stop it, Maisie. I'm just going to put it back in. Sorry about that. What was I talking about? It was probably nonsense. You know, the thing is, sometimes there's no harm to get an interruption just to stop my thinking I know what I'm saying. Alright, so I'll just carry on. Right, so I lifted off some of that collage there because I felt like it was a bit too much. Might end up putting it there instead. Okay. Then will I go back to the paintbrush then? So what's in there is a bit darker. If I get some ultramarine blue, paint, I could really have done with some palettes. Sure, I just use paper. Sometimes you just need to bite the bullet, don't you, and just start, even if everything isn't fully prepared. And there are other times when I'd say make sure you fully prepare everything, but for the first painting in a while, I'm just going to give myself a break here. Okay, so darkening down the leaves where they enter into the jug seems to be a good idea there. And I'll get a bit more of that bright green. No, I didn't even use the bright green yet, did I? I didn't. Let me see what that looks like. I'll show you what that looks like here. Oh, for goodness sake. Come on. Oh, jeez. Okay, it's gone everywhere. That bright green work. I'm not sure if this is a bit pasty, this paint. Let me just see. It has the look of being a bit whitish, you know, chalky. That's okay. Alright. And I said I put gesso on. I didn't put an awful lot of gesso on. Maisie, stop it. Where are you? Leave her alone. Right, come here. Out. No, out here. Out. Oh, for feck's sake. I can't close the door, sure. Sorry, I forgot you were on that. Just you leave her alone. Out there. Out there. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, I know. Very bad video, but anyway, fuck it. Oh, she's back here again. Honestly, Maisie, I don't know what to say to you. Okay. Well, I mean, Midnight has no trouble telling her off anyway, so she's not going to get very far. She'll only get a scratch in her nose if she keeps at her. Alright, and in the background then there's a dark brown line for the piano, maybe. Don't know if I want to use oil pastel there though. What do I want to use there? I think I'm going to just use the bit of paper like this and then let the chalk pastel come up to meet it. Like that. And on the other side as well. And there's a handle and everything there, but I might leave the handle out, we'll see. This might be one of those videos like where it's just where we're just barely getting by. I think it might be that. Those are kind of fun, aren't they? Sorry about this. And this is the broken stand thing for the iPad, but it's it'll work. It's good enough. Okay. I kind of want to do that. All right. I found these as I was fooling around there, and I thought actually maybe that might work. That might work for something of that pattern on the vase as well. Just put out a bit more of the PVA glue. Okay. Because the center of the vase is standing out in the light there, it's a bit brighter. So it seems a good idea. Somebody's surfacing upstairs now. I need to take Maisie to the vet today as well because she's hurt the kind of knuckle of her knee, like I don't know if it's called a knee in dogs. Her front leg, where the joint is. Somehow there's a cut on it. Okay. So the tulips, what'll I do to make them happen? Okay, let's just try this. Might work. But I suppose the thing I can do always is come back in with the ink or a drawn line with the oil pastel or something. I'll just do a few shapes that are a little bit like these lovely tulips. Did I say fuchsia? Tulips is what I mean. That's a very dirty tulip. I'll take that off. Daisy, just go and give me a break, will you? Alright. I'll put one there as well. She was fine all morning, like, sitting down relaxing. Suddenly, just now that I've decided to have a chat with G, she's wanting to get in on the act somehow. Go away, you pain in the arse. Right. Now, let's see, that'll be all the animal lovers tuned out. Alright, let me see what to do here. It's a bit of a mess, really. But messes are no harm. Messes are kind of good in a way. You have to do something then with it. There has to be some sort of retrieval. Without any mess, there's nothing really happens. Okay, let's see. I might use my non-dominant hand to draw some greenery, will I? Let me see, how does that look? So this is the oil pastel, green oil pastel. I think I'll use a darker green or brown even. Let's see what the brown one looks like. This is my non-dominant hand now because there's a feeling of getting a bit controlling and I just want to lose that. And I don't want the brown to be on both sides, so I'm going to use a dark grey on that side of the leaf. And there's a green one that comes down, they're all green, that comes down like a triangle in front of those. It's quite dark there. What's in my other hand? I've got white here because I thought I could do the tulips themselves. really. I'd like it to be a creamy, because it's a kind of a creamy white, the tulips are. When I half close my eyes, is the background lighter or darker? The background here is brighter, so there's a bit of background wall coming through there, a bit of background wall coming through there, and there's something of the shape of the leaf being defined by the background there. And then here there's a lovely brightness between those, the stem of that tulip there and the dark leaf below it. And there's also this brightness over here. This oil pastel is struggling to be bright enough for that background. I could always stick a bit of paper on there to describe the background and the leaf overlapping it. Might work. Somebody surfaced upstairs now, having a shower. Erin's not working today. She's been working in Sainsbury's quite a lot. Every day except Christmas Day recently. She bought everybody great presents, and she's in her first year earning, really. Okay. It'll be a lovely day on Christmas Day. Right, so there's a bit of a silhouette of the leaves now happening with the white background drawing up to meet the edge of the leaf there. And that leaf meets the handle of the jug, which I want to describe. How will I describe the handle of that jug now in such a way that it reads as jug? I might use the paper that I used for the brightest bit of the centre of that bit there. This patterned leafy stuff. I've made it a bit thinner by tearing it that way. I mean by peeling it off. So that's jug handle. You see, my hands are all dirty now, so everything I put on is tainted with brown. So the less handling I do, the better, which is no harm. It's good to handle things very little so that they take their own shape on there. So what I'm going to do now is lift off that blessed bit again and put on this bit. It's got a bit more dominance to it. There's something to describe the handle there. And I think as it comes around there, it disappears behind that leaf. So that's okay. It's okay. I've got a bit of that paint again that I could stick over that so that it reads as though the leaf is overlapping the jug handle rather than the other way around. Maybe that could also describe that lovely stem that's in the light there. Stuff everywhere. I'd say I keep pulling this away. Well, that's fine. Okay, what about some ink now? And here's Midnight to just join in the fun. Drinking the water as usual. She hasn't keeled over yet, but I don't think it can be very good for her. At least she's drinking the clean water this morning. Alright, so I was going to use a sharpened stick. Where did I put the sharpened stick? It was actually the end of a paintbrush. Yeah, I just cracked off the end of a paintbrush there, you see. And I can stick that into some ink. What colour ink will I use? Do you know what? I'm going to start with the blue little ink and just use the stick from that to draw with, because that's quite a clear. Where am I now? Maisie, stop it. Go away from her. You can still just about see, can't you, for goodness sake? But you're probably thinking, for goodness sake, just finish it up. That was the other, oh yeah, so the other side of that triangular leaf coming down there. Right, forget that, I'd say. I need something that's going to really decisively
end this torture. What's the black ink like? Let me see if it's too dark. No, I think it's okay. So that might work to outline some shapes of the tulips. Some of the tulip heads could be described with this black line of watered down Indian ink. Do you know, it feels good anyway, despite all the carry on, to get back into doing a bit of drawing, and just little reminders about ways to manage the household so that everybody isn't interrupting. By everybody I mean Maisie. Yes, Maisie, I'm talking about you. I mean, you know, I actually really love her as well, so don't be concerned for her welfare. She does have a good enough deal. She just annoys me when I try to, well, she maybe keeps me on my toes so that nothing becomes complacent when I'm doing a bit of artwork like this, you know. I kind of have to get on with it, because she's not going to tolerate, this morning at least, she won't be tolerating me faffing around too much. So this is sepia coloured ink now, and I kind of like this as a line too. I think it might be a bit more sympathetic for the shape of the tulips here. So I'm just mostly focusing on one side of the tulips where the light isn't falling, you know, and the darker side to explain the shape of them. I think were I to outline every single one, it might just I don't know, not be very satisfying somehow, you know, outlining the whole lot of every flower. It feels like that wouldn't be a good idea, because it might flatten them more. Yeah, so when one side reads as being darker, it gives a three-dimensional feel to it. Let's see. I could always use a little bit of oil pastel for the bright side as well, possibly. Let's just see now. I'll try and get the feeling of them layering behind each other. It's a bit of a tumble of tulips here. And yeah, that one needs to be identified a little bit more clearly. It's the very highest one on that side. Highest one in the middle, really. Oh, my arm is getting tired now. That's a sure sign I'm overdoing something. Yeah, maybe I'll go back and I'll just use the brush itself to describe the top of the pot with the ink. So not the sharp and stick side, but the brush side is what I'm using here. And I'm just going to remember to breathe and get the curl of that leaf as it extends over. Kinda. I think something needs to be done there. Maybe it comes up here too. So I'm using a bit more tone now with the brush side. Yeah, I got a bit lost with where those I got a bit lost with where the shapes of the background coming through are located. But I think as long as I don't go into too much detail with anything, I can get away with that too. No, what about this little? Quite like this turquoisey one, to lift it all a bit, if there's any left. No, there's not, is there? Even the stick is stuck in there. Would it work? Let's see. There's a little bit left. I just thought that might inject a bit of something more fun, a bit of colour. I could put some on this side too. Do you know what? There's none left. I'll just leave that to one side. And I could use this blue instead. I think this is ultramarine blue. It doesn't look anything like ultramarine blue, but that's what it's called. Whoa, a bit watery as well. I think I should have shaken that now. And I'm going to lift off some of that arc. I don't really want it arcing up like that quite so much. And okay, these tulips now, what will I do with them? Bring back some more of the white oil pastel possibly. And yeah, some dark bluish. I think something about the leaves. So if I'm going in for the brights and the flowers, I also need to identify a bit more fully the darks and the leaves, I reckon. So what am I doing here now? Bringing some blue into the leaves. That's actually just lifting off the glue, so it's making it read as being white, which is probably useful up there, but not down there, because that's dark where the tulips enter the jug. But the jug itself could do with a bit of brightness there. Whoa. This is obviously those really good oil pastels I've picked up, so that's handy, because I can brighten up the tulips with that. Brighter, brighter, brighter. Up there. A bit of brightness there. And see, there's a tulip there that's got a leaf overlapping it. I don't want the leaf to overlap it that much. And the same there. Sure you can't see a thing, can you? For goodness sake. Oh. I don't know what to say to myself about this one. Something about this colour looks like it would work for those tulips as well. And dark brown. She's found the kitchen paper. Right, when I half close my eyes, the thing that happens there is that these leaves read as being a lot darker than the background behind them on this side. And these actually are also darker than the background, so that's okay, because that's the way they are in the painting too. I just feel like there's something a bit disappointing. Maybe it's in the jug. What if I were to put in white acrylic? This might be a final move now, and you'll be off the hook. I mean, you're free to walk away at any time, of course. There's no obligations. What I should put down there first now is masking tape, because I want the jug to be brighter than the background. So I'm going to. It's a bit weird because the background is just the white paper still, but I'm hoping that the white acrylic paint will be brighter than that white background. It's not going to be, is it? But it'll be thicker anyway, for goodness sake. Maybe something of the handle I could do in that too. And that blue coming in is kind of nice. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. And I suppose I could, don't know, do I want to do that? Put something darker in for the wall now. I should really wait until the wall dries a little bit. There. And on this side, I could use the white paint to paint up to the jug. Actually, I'm just spreading the paint that's on the masking tape, and that might be enough to give it a straight edge. That's okay. Just seems like here could do with a coherent dark. So what about a bit of I could use the rag. I need a smaller rag really. What if I just do that? What happens? Just kind of subdue it at least, so that it's not all bumpy and lumpy. And then I could get my paintbrush and really clean the white off it, because what I want to use this paintbrush for now is to bring in something with the dark blue ultramarine blue, and I think if I mix some of this paint, I don't know what it is now, it's the new stuff. Oh cheekers, so fucking cheap. It just goes everywhere, that paint. I don't think it's open properly, and then it just goes flying out. Alright, this is not the right colour, but it's not exactly the colour of the leaves, but it's dark, and I want dark, yeah. But I do want to put some hooker's green into that, and that'll give me more the colour I'm after. See, I think there's something about emphasising the darks on this side that'll help the whole thing. Yeah, there's more struggle than freedom in this painting, to be honest with you. And you can probably tell that, you know, in general, it seems like there's a bit of angst around the place. Angst is a bit strong a word. Not angst. Just slight can't be arseness. That's not it either. I'll find out what it is and I'll get back to you. Because you're desperate to know, aren't you? Right, what about this long brush now that I might be able to eat into that again and create curves where stabby short things are. That's not doing it either. Oh gosh, bending down gets a bit harder after 50, you know. Bending down is okay, it's getting back up. I've heard folks saying that before. Right, so this is a better brush now to allow me to identify the edge there. Just to get back in something. I don't feel like talking actually, I just feel like I want to get stuck into this now, so I'm going to stop talking. Midnight's doing enough talking for all of us anyway. And the water I'm using is very dirty. So, but that's it. Do you know, there'll be all of these constraints and restrictions and everything. Sometimes they're just needed. They're just the thing that's needed, because there's a thing. Just take some. There's a chance of becoming precious, you know. There's a chance of becoming precious, and like, I feel like that's, yeah, it's needed. That restrictions and constraint is sometimes welcome. And actually, it might be hard, but even if the painting is up really bad, the process having gone through all of this, like, it's a struggle and everything, it might have been better to stop ages ago for the sake of the painting, but actually for my sake, it's good to belt through it and to tear the paper even. Maybe it doesn't really matter. What matters, I feel, is just becoming involved with it. Becoming involved with it. That's what matters. In honesty, like bringing that, whatever it is. I'm annoying myself with the words of the talking I'm doing. I'm annoying myself. Now that dark green could work there maybe, to identify again that leaf. The rag will be handy. There's a thing about interacting and the rag is a very direct line for that interaction. Yeah. Anyone involved in this lark, you know there will be struggle, don't you? And aiming for things and not quite hitting the mark, and aiming again. So this here is white acrylic. White acrylic paint is what I'm using here to help me to identify the just parts where a bright edge meets a slightly darker thing. My eyes are half closed in order to find those edges that feel significant to me. And in the same way as the rag is like a direct line, so is the finger. I mean, that hands, getting yourself involved physically in the painting can be a very satisfying thing. And let's see, I might be closing up this fairly soon now, because I want to keep alive in myself whether or not the painting has reached completion. I want to honour where it's arrived at and just let it alone for the sake of what it's bought for me there now. Just the willingness to be messy and risk losing things and not to care too much. Well, not to mind. Some famous spiritual leader said that, didn't they? Whatever happens, I don't mind. Minding is different from caring. I think I do care very much. She's trying to get out of the cupboard now. Close the door a bit too close, so there's not enough of a gap for Midnight to get out. Just gonna let her out. Just put a bit of green paint under the paper there to get the dark green leaves happening again. This now is a last ditch attempt to capture the character of those glorious tulips, do you know? There's a buttery creaminess to the yellowy cream that they are. And so I'm using now the chalk, these soft pastels that are really, they're gorgeous, and the colour is quite good. These are gorgeous in that they kind of sit on top of the surface and just sing out nice and bright. nice and bright. And they make it different from the white paint as well. It's a creamy colour. Maybe I could find a yellowy green stem colour. Even maybe just yellow for the bright stems. And how this tumbles over there. And something in that edge is bright too. Not that bright colour though. Maybe this one. Could bring that in places. I don't know if you bear with me during all of this carry on or not. And if you're even straight up here, okay, it's not too bad. But if you have weathered the storm with me, thanks. Thanks. And there'll be more where this came from, because I know now, as medicine, it's good. It's good. Oh, jeekers. These soft pastels, I end up cracking them quite regularly. Just to capture the bottom of that jug as it touches the piano. We still have the piano. My daughter is hoping to get the piano into her flat, but nobody, of course, at the moment is willing to move anything. So it's here for another while. Alright guys, little line to scrape the jug handle. And I'm going to head off to the vet with Maisie. Yes, Maisie, I know. Who, in actual fact, isn't a pain in the ass, as I said earlier, but a lovely companion. Come here and say hello, Maisie. I'm going to stop with that now. That's as far as I'm going to get with that. Come here, Maisie, come on. Up. Here she is. Up. Oh, you can't see her. Here she is. There's Maisie. There's my Maisie. And there's her sore leg, see? Don't know if you can see it. It's quite sore there. Dirty. Okay. Alright, all the best, guys. See you tomorrow. 44 minutes. Well done if you stayed the course. But you're tuning in before and at the end is enough, isn't it? You miss out the major struggle then and all the carry on. Okay, all the best.